We're back here, and it's hard conversations on the Bumper Breakfast Show. Violence amongst young partners is one thing. We're back here, and it's hard conversations on the Bumper Breakfast Show. Violence amongst young partners is one thing we've been discussing for a while. Why did we come about this topic last week? If you remember, there was the case of two young partners where one of them, a very popular or rising star in the music industry, began to do everything possible, began to run around, began to beat up his girlfriend. It was just a brief success, And I remember that Drprecious was sharing with me that just last month he got to be signed officially on the Davido label.
Yes.
And barely 1 month after, he was removed. And it's quite disappointing, don't you think? It's quite disappointing.
Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing, because this young guy is a promising rapper. And for you to get into a DMW, Davido Music World, just like that, and a month later, you are sacked from the team for beating your girlfriend is the height of it. And that's why we came up to sit back and work on these points to help young people who find themselves in relationship, the 12 factors that influences or sponsors violence among young partners. And if these things are not looked at, you may end up ending the relationship and ending your career even before you started. You may use your hand to destroy yourself. And that's why, you see, I was telling somebody recently, I said there are some things God will allow us to go through so that we can impart knowledge about those things to some other people. If you don't know what headache looks like, you will commonize it. Headache. Please stay outside. I'm waiting for people with cancer. Just like the story we heard of that pastor who somebody came up in church to say, I was healed of this headache. And he was like, what is headache? Please, is there no blind eye that got opened? Is there no deaf ear? He was commonizing. So I heard the story that just after that, when he was about to go with the sermon, headache started. It was so excruciating. He took all the drugs, it couldn't work. And then he went to pray. And he said he had the voice of God telling him, the headache you commonize is what I gave to you. Feel the effect of it. So there are times you go through things, not because God hates you, but because he wants to use you to build your generation. And until you have compassion, you can't express your intentions properly. Yeah, so we started the 12 factors that influences violence amongst young partners last week. And number 1, we said anger. I explained that. Number 2, lack of self-control and impatience.
But why are young people? Why would we even why would we even identify impatience as one of the virtues of the young, very popular? When you talk about self-control, that seems to be something that cuts across all ages.
True. And you see, the impatience among young people is very glaring. You see, they call it youthful exuberance.
Always in a rush.
Yes.
Always in a rush.
You see a lady that is curvy, the next thing you put a ring on it. Instead of you to study the character, you are studying the figure. Unknown to you that figures will shrink. Beautiful face will age. But character is constant. And these are things I have learned through the struggle over time. And it's important. Young people just want to see a young lady invest. You see, it's sad that the time of courtship is spent in this generation as time of going out to eat,
frolicking,
asking unnecessary questions, frolicking,
having sex, with the parties, watching movies, spending money, and
instead of investigating in what you want to invest your life in. We spend the time clout chasing, and at the end of the day you get into the house and you're like, did I marry this woman or did I marry this man? How did I get here? What happened? What changed? I told you the story last week of a young lady who left her husband's house and there was an issue because of plantain.
Fried plantain.
Just because of that.
Dodo.
It's so crazy.
Dodo.
It's so crazy. You get to the point, and this is impatience. Impatience. It's not enough you can get angry, yes, but do not allow anger lie in your bosom. You know, the Holy Book says anger lies in the bosom of a fool. So when anger stays in your heart from today till tomorrow morning, and then you continue.
And that's what it means by lying in your bosom.
Yeah, that's what it means by being a fool. You're a fool already because it has laid in your bosom. I heard the story of a woman who was angry with her husband that he didn't come from the office
early.
He didn't come from not even early. She wanted to eat in the afternoon, and she wanted the husband to come help her clean the dish because she was pregnant. So because the man didn't come, he sent his staff. She got angry. She attacked him when he came back, and he managed to escape and went to sleep. The next morning, this woman woke up with a pistol for pounding, and shattered the windscreen of his car, of the glass in his car. And this man went to the car with the briefcase and saw that and placed a call.
Call the police.
We needed to evaluate that woman for mental checkup, because this person did not come to you yesterday from the office to wash plates like you wanted.
Like
he sent his staff.
Hold on. Wash plates.
Yeah, for you.
That's small.
That's small.
Even send someone to come do it on
and she
behalf.
chased the person away. And then the guy comes back in the evening, she attacks him, and then he managed to escape and went to sleep and locked the door. And the next morning he comes out.
So if he had been awake, if his door hadn't been locked,
she could have attacked him.
Should have killed him overnight.
So long story made short, he called the security man and said, who did this? The man said, Madam did it 6 a.m. this morning. Now that's the kind of anger I'm talking about, the foolish anger. It lies in the bosom. She stayed with it till the next morning and perpetrated that act.
Oh my.
When you see people like
he
that,
was lucky.
You run for your life. Yeah.
Even though she was pregnant, you run for your life.
I'm telling you.
Even though she's like pregnant with twins, you take.
Yes, we are aware of bipolar disorder, which is a medical condition, but you see, this one is the height of it, and there are so many character flaws we see here and there. You know, a bad boy will be a bad man. A bad girl will be a bad wife. It doesn't matter how you take it. And let me say this bitter truth: if she cheats on you before marriage, she will cheat on you after marriage. If he cheats on you before marriage, he will cheat on you after marriage. So and this is shocking right now. There is a tendency that if he cheats with you before marriage, he will cheat on you after marriage.
Hold on. I didn't get that. How do you cheat with you before marriage? He had somebody else.
No. Cheat with you. You know,
what do you mean by that?
The bed should be undefiled.
Okay.
Till after marriage.
And you know
and we both know that we should not do this thing before.
Okay.
And meanwhile, we have both been stealing. So I'm cheating with you before the marriage.
Who am I cheating on? I'm cheating on myself.
That's why I say I'm cheating with you. We are both cheating because we are not supposed to do it before. That's our religion. Now you're doing it before. Okay? And then you expect that after marrying you, this guy will become a saint.
He will not.
He will go out there and he will not do it
with somebody else.
With somebody else. My sister.
Drprecious.
I said. So it's a theory we are trying to prove.
We don't try to prove it.
Okay, we'll get there.
The one that I would agree with is, if you were not the girl,
okay,
you stole him from somebody, and he was cheating with you, and then you became the main chick. When you marry him,
he will still cheat on you.
That one is more definite. Like it. That's more like it.
I'm speaking now from the religious perspective. You know, let me tell you something.
This is not a religious.
I have seen. Yeah, I know, but I've seen where some so-called religious in quote people end up with such scenarios. So the faithfulness is not there, and then you expect the guy to keep being talking and spirit-filled afterwards when you know that the bed was defiled even before you got in. It's gonna be very tough. It's a theory we're trying to prove. We're still out there. We're still out there working, and we'll give you feedback.
Please, when you have your theory proven, let me know. But what's the next point, really?
Okay, like I said, number one was
anger.
Number two was self-control, lack of self-control and impatience. Number three is nagging and verbal recklessness.
Oh, that's where we were talking about you just having the liberty, taking liberty with your mouth to say practically everything, irrespective of how it comes across to the other person.
Yeah, there are some women who would totally bisect a man with their mouth, regardless of whatever it is. A man once told me, he said, my wife can do anything to me, but to tongue lash me publicly, I won't take it. And there are some women, they can disgrace you in public. They really don't have shame. Yes.
They're really shameless.
And I tell people, do not marry a shameless person.
Whether it's a man or a woman.
A shameless person, because they will disgrace you publicly.
Oh my, and you wouldn't recover quickly.
And there are two people I always, when it comes to the school of character, I tell you, run away from that person who does not have anybody they respect. They listen to no one. They respect no one. They believe their opinion is final. I am precious, but I don't know all things. I still have a mentor. In terms of relationship, I listen to Pastor Piki, I listen to David Oyedepo. I listen to people who will help me become better. So if you think you have arrived and nobody can talk to you, whether you're a female or a male, you are a dangerous bomb going somewhere to detonate.
And when you detonate, you would actually affect the people in your environment.
Very true. So that's why you need to run from such people. And number two, someone who doesn't have shame. It's so painful.
What does it mean really when we say people don't have shame? Apart from this idea of being able to insult you in public or something, some people are so shameless that before they beat you, before they begin to fight you, they go naked. They disgrace themselves.
True. And that's one of the shamelessness we're talking about.
So you know that if this person tears his or her own cloth, then you know that the person is shameless.
That's the height of it. You see, it starts with lifting up your voice. When we're talking, you want the neighbors to hear. So you increase the volume of your voice. No, bring it down. That's why there's something called bedroom voice. Young partners need to understand that this is the period of